What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a Super Bowl edition of the NBA Slate Starter Podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break out Mondays. How many games is it? That's nine. That's nine, I believe. 9-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. I knew that. I was working on my sheet and figuring out everything during this Super Bowl that just concluded. Rams, 23-20. There was a phantom third down, holding whatever else. Odell Beckham goes down. There's so many ridiculous things happening in this game. But I will say, I think the better team won. Ryan, how did your night go?
Yeah, it was an interesting game. I was very on the Rams side of things, very heavy on the Rams side, which unfortunately led me on a lot less T. Higgins. And I had some T. Higgins, but not enough to really get me over the hunch. And it's one of those games where if Odell Beckham stays healthy, maybe it's a different outcome across the board. Injuries are part of the game. And I truly think that third down call was a makeup call for the offensive face mask on Jalen Rabbit. In the opening play of the second half. So you know what? For every bad call, there's a good one. So thankfully, we don't have to worry about that awful sport anymore. And the Super Bowl might be the most overrated sporting event there is, right?
I'm with you. It's a little blasphemous to say, because we're in the content industry. Obviously, I cover every sport here at Awesemo. I mean, primarily an NBA guy, but I like to think of myself, well, I mean, obviously PGA guy too. MLB is where I got my DFS start. And then NFL, you have to cover if you're in this business to some extent and be not just proficient, but good at it. I feel as though the Super Bowl, because I'm a Vikings fan, is the worst. I hate it. I'll never like it because I'm just apparently allergic to it with my team. So I started to realize as the week progressed towards this, I was able to go to some cool stuff for the Super Bowl weekend. Obviously, I'm home on a Sunday night, just chilling, just being married with a dog life, doing the thing. But I will say it was an entertaining football game, and we both made money. So I don't think we have a whole lot to complain about, do we?
No. And it's always about when there's a milli maker on there, you kind of want to win one of those. But, can't. Those are really tough to win. But more importantly, I think going back to the Super Bowl take of mine, I think I'll give me the March Madness every single day.
Oh, every time. Have you been to Vegas for March Madness?
I have not been to Vegas.
We have to go to Vegas for March Madness together.
I've heard it's like one of the best weekends to be in Vegas for.
It's the best weekend to be in Vegas, period. And I don't think it's remotely close because you have access to day-long, and I mean day-long sweats of college basketball. The parties are outrageous. You can be going out Thursday through Saturday or Thursday through Sunday, and you have really fun people from different schools. Different people come from everywhere to go there. We might have to figure out a way to make that happen this year.
I was in Vegas for the Super Bowl last year, and it was fine. It was a good time, but it was still I just think so much just goes into the Super Bowl. I enjoyed it a lot more when I was a kid, and now as I've gotten older, it's not been as fun.
There were no good commercials either. Did you remember one commercial that was good today?
No. The obviously the Coinbase one with the QR code just bouncing around was really annoying.
Funny.
But yeah, I want to hear what the comment section thinks the best commercials are. And anyways, all these commercials are advertised earlier than the Super Bowl nowadays on Twitter, so it's kind of everything has been leaked more or less to know what's out there. But we don't have to worry about the sport till September, so I'm pretty happy about it.
You're so happy, even though you annihilated week one. I would say you had some bright spots throughout the entire season. Me, I think I'm going to be up a little bit. I'm happy with it. Obviously, NBA, PGA, and MLB get the majority of my action, but NFL, obviously, we all play, and it's only a one-day event that you really have. I guess we have a lot of showdowns with Monday and Thursday nights as well, but in NBA, we get a sweat pretty much every single day. I say that knowing full well that come Friday, there will be no NBA content because of the All-Star weekend, Friday, Saturday. And then we're going to hit you guys up with an NBA All-Star edition of the Slate Starter podcast. We might actually be recording that Thursday night for Sunday's game, but you're going to want to check that out. Ryan and I did content for that last year, covered it in depth, and I think we were pretty profitable going to some of those bench guys. Not to spoil it completely, but a pretty fun way that the formats work out. We're going to have a lot to talk about there. I doubt we'll have the teams. Will we have the teams? Yeah, we will.
We do have the teams. We just don't know if salaries will be out.
That's what I meant. Yeah, sorry. Just saying that we don't have the salaries for the specific situations. Should be fun, though. I know Andrew Wiggins is starting. That's enjoyable. But you know what? Whatever. Guys, smash that like button, subscribe button, notification bell so you know when this and all the other content at Awesemo is going live. Ryan and I, we're going to start breaking down this Monday night game. Are you ready to get going? My richer than you were before, dude. I said it. God darn it. I said, dude, my friend.
Well, let's ride.
I know you hate it so much. I apologize. DeJounte Murray, 11K. Steph Curry, 10-4 here. We've got a lot of guys that are going to be out. Obviously, Brooklyn's at home, so there's going to be no Kyrie Irving. We're going to be sitting and waiting, wishing on some news. But we do have Seth Curry that will be joining the lineup here for the Brooklyn Nets. They're going to need all the help they can get there in the middle of a massive skid here. And Andre Drummond, 5,500. That is going to be a ridiculous conversation point, although LaMarcus Aldridge off the injury report. So we're going to have to really do a good job of figuring out those minutes look like from Brooklyn, but wanted to get them out of the way right off the bat because there isn't a single player that's going to be active tomorrow unless Ben Simmons emerges out of the middle of nowhere. It's over 5,700 and they're playing Sacramento at home. That usually means good things from a fantasy perspective, but in that same game there, getting a little bit further, I'm just going to jump to it. De'Aaron Fox, 8,200. He's 2-0 with his new teammate, Domantas Sabonis. There's no Tyrese Halliburton. He's going to, I'm assuming, see his assist rate continue to climb over the 3 and 4 that we've seen here the last 2 games. I expect that to go up unless they're going to play more through Sabonis, which could be the case. I just don't expect it to. We've got Donovan Mitchell against Houston. That's always fun. He's 9,200. Fred VanVleet, 8,800 against the Pellies. And then Brandon Ingram, 8,700. But the reason I wanted to bring that up as well is there's 2 guys at 7,900. Anthony Simons playing Milwaukee and CJ McCollum, 7,900, playing against Toronto. I like both of them sub 8K. Talk to me about guard, a very intriguing position on the top end of DraftKings.
Yeah, the top end's definitely very interesting where you have DeJounte Murray, who's well on his way to potentially a 12K price tag. He's been playing that well. 11K. You got to pay up for nice things, and he's pretty darn nice. But if you want to save and go to Steph Curry, you have no issues there at 10-4. The upside's there for Steph. Now, obviously, we know there's no Kyrie as this game is in Brooklyn. Now, going on to the next guy, Donovan Mitchell, 9,200 in a Houston matchup. I think you can definitely go to him. It's elevated, but a lot of these guys, I mean, we've seen this all year. It's kind of a new era of DraftKings pricing where the studs are priced up a little bit more expensive than they usually have been. VanVleet, when he's getting 40-plus minutes, you can definitely go to him in a Pelicans matchup, 8,800. I think Middleton and Brandon Ingram are a little too expensive with the insertion of CJ McCollum now in the picture. I love McCollum at 7,900. I like going to that price tag. And his former teammate, Anthony Simons, now 7,900. Now in a Milwaukee spot, I want to shy away a little bit. And De'Aaron Fox, you can definitely go to 8,200 in a Brooklyn spot where I think you'll be just fine. We did get word Cade Cunningham is on a minutes limit at 7,500. They're just watching those minutes, but there'll be a game where that minutes limit is taken away. So you can definitely target him if we get where there's no minutes limit for him. We see Klay Thompson play 30-plus minutes, and he was not a vintage performance. It was Klay just being Klay the other night on Saturday night. But looking to spend down a little bit, we get a Justice Winslow, 5,600. I think he might be popular, but I want to be a little cautious with that price tag in against Milwaukee. We've been rostering him all the way up to this price tag. I want to shy away just a tad bit. Looking at some guard value in the Knicks side of things, there's both Quentin Grimes and Kemba Walker. 4,300 for Kemba Walker. We saw a vintage Kemba performance on Saturday night, and Quentin Grimes is the min 3K. I have no issues if you fall on one or two of those guys whatsoever. And with no Kyrie Irving, with now Seth Curry in the picture and Andre Drummond now in the picture for Brooklyn, I like Patty Mills at 4,800. I think this might help him get going a little bit at that price tag in a Sacramento matchup. So there's a lot of guard value to take advantage of.
Facundo Campazzo, Bones Highland. If there's no Monty Morris, are we going back to the well on them?
If there's no Monty Morris, it's an Orlando spot. And I believe that's the last game of the night, right?
Second to last wave. You have Houston, Utah locking at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and Golden State and the Clippers, which is going to be a fascinating fascinating late night hammer. We have no Norman Powell. He's already been announced out. We have Luke Kennard, who popped up this evening, like legitimately 20 minutes before we came on. He's questionable. You could be looking at Reggie Jackson, 6K chalk night, coming off of a slate where I had nearly 100% of the guy. I love him so much, which is not something I ever thought I would say about Reggie Jackson, because I generally never get this guy right.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation to keep an eye on. But honestly, I'll just wait on that news tomorrow to make that decision. It's been kind of up and down with the Bones and Facundo situation. Bones, I think they both have upside. It's just Mike Malone trying to predict what Mike Malone is going to do. And that's can be a little tough to do in that situation.
He is just not great. I mean, there's certain coaches, we know who they are. We know you're damn dirty liars. But for the most part, we can expect the unexpected when it comes to a guy like Mike Malone. Also makes it fun for tournaments, though, because you never know who's going to pop up and get the majority of those minutes. Bones Highland started. Facundo Campazzo's outpaced him in minutes, I believe, in both of those games. I will double check as we go to the guard spot on FanDuel. Top end DeJounte Murray, 10-8. Once again, this guy has been just sinister in the absence now. Derek White shipped off to Boston. Whoa. See what I did there? Dun, 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 dun. You're not going to entertain me today. It's fine. Steph Curry, 9,700. We got DeMar DeRozan, 10-4. Shooting guard, small forward is what it is, y'all. Donovan Mitchell's 8,800. That's going to be popular. Lower price tag than he has over on DraftKings. So that's a plus. And then 8,800 facing Houston, definite plus everywhere. Fred VanVleet, we know what kind of to expect there. It's called lots of minutes. Might make him pretty interesting at 8,600 for tournaments. But again, De'Aaron Fox going up against this terrible, no good, very bad Brooklyn team, 8K. Somebody I feel like I'll want to land on quite a bit. Ooh, sub 7K Anthony Simons. I know you really value Drew Holiday defense. It's one of the guys that you've brought up multiple times where it's like, I don't know how I feel about this. Sub 7K still okay for you, Anthony Simons?
It's just I value the opposition defense quite a bit in my process, and I mean it's kind of what happens in my process. I know there are a lot of other successful people who just don't give a damn about it, but it's to each their own. I think he's fine at 6,900. The opportunity cost is what you're going to have to hone in on. He's the same price tag as a Cole Anthony, and head-to-head, I think I prefer Cole Anthony at potentially lower ownership. Looking at other guys in that price range, you can go to I think spend down a little bit and go to a Will Barton. I know they're different positions, but they both have shooting guard eligibility. Cade Cunningham at 6,600. I'm just looking for pivots of like potentially a popular Anthony Simons and not the best spot for him to succeed. So it's not that he doesn't grade as a great value, which he does, but I'm just looking for pivots where the upside might be greater and a path of least resistance. And I think those little pivots here and there over time can help you come up on top of tournaments. That's just my opinion, but everyone the opposite side, I completely understand where they're getting from. But looking up top, I mean, spending up for DeJounte Murray 10-8, I think in a Chicago matchup is fine, but I would rather save a little bit and go to guys like VanVleet and Mitchell. Steph Curry's kind of an island price tag. He's all right. He just needs to get there with raw points here, and when you don't get the 3-point bonus on FanDuel, it's not as appealing as it is on DK. And when turnovers you're penalized more, it can definitely add up. Looking at a Portland matchup, I don't mind falling on a Drew Holiday 8,500. He'll be pretty low owned. But looking at some value to spend down on the Washington spot, you get Neto. Brooklyn, you'll have Patty Mills. There's also KCP at $4,200. I know it's gross, but it's just a value in minutes play. Some Knicks guys, so you get Kemba Walker at $4,500 in an OKC spot. Former OKC Thunder Kemba Walker, for those who forget, but I kid. But
jeez,
just looking at other guys here, I mean, Quentin Grimes is $5,200. Look at the price differentiation between DK and FanDuel. Quentin Grimes is a great play on DK, not so much on FanDuel. I don't think at $5,200. So just keep an eye on those pricing differences, and there's some solid value, like in guys like I said. I think you can also go to Franz Wagner, $5,100. Spending down here, I don't mind. On the shooting guard and point guard spot, there's some solid value options.
Last two guys to bring up for tournaments. Now, I don't know if they'll be popular anymore. They were crazy, crazy popular when, I don't know, he was 4,400 on FanDuel. That was Kobe White. You do have Zach LaVine, who's going to be out. He's visiting a specialist in Los Angeles to check in on his knee. They are playing basketball in Chicago, so that tells me that Zach LaVine will not probably be in the state, let alone in the arena, let alone playing for the Bulls.
Yeah, I think he's done until the All-Star game, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be at least that.
Could be wrong, though.
Yeah, you're right. No, he's definitely – there's no way that he's getting his knee checked on and then he's probably going to come back before then. You just give him the week to chill. With Alex Caruso out, probably a bad situation. I'm going to be paying close attention of all things to Javonte Green's status. If he ends up being in, that's a definite ding on Kobe White. But otherwise, Ayo Dosunmu, I'm going to probably fire him up either way. I know I just swore to my friend Ryan. Please forgive me. Is that okay that I roster Ayo tomorrow?
If things open up the right way for him, yeah. You can fall into some when they're shorthanded. It's just that those shooting rates will regress. I think that's just going to be natural, and where defenses start focusing on him a little bit more, just because those are unsustainable shooting rates, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the assist rate is outrageous right now, leading the Bulls in assist rate, 41 minutes a night his last two.
That's why, the minutes are a tough thing to always fade there.
Oh, which is why you rostered him the day he went nuts and won money. And it was really annoying to me because I thought I was going to bank with all of it. And you're like, oh, yeah, no, I played Ayo tonight. I'm like, you can't. I mean, you can do whatever you want. There's people you have to change your tune to. Maybe Ryan will change his to Ayo, or again, it's just one of those things. Go big blue, right?
No, it's not even that. I honestly just don't think he's this good. If he was,
he's playing really well right now.
I think he's playing above his head. If he was this good, he would have not fallen this far in the draft, right? Yeah. Like, if he was going to be a starting caliber guard on an NBA team,
but there's so many guys. When was DeJounte Murray drafted?
Whoa! That is you can't compare.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying we're having the conversation.
Murray's a first-round pick.
Yeah, 29th.
Yeah, that's a much different than falling to the second round and being traded into that pick.
It's kind of the same thing.
There's a big difference.
Ayo fell hard because of the tournament. That was a brutal showing by him. And same thing can be said about Franz Wagner. Both of them had apocalyptic games that
Franz
people
Wagner
remembered.
Stock elevated for some reason. I was shocked he was a top 10 pick.
Yeah, me too. But I'm saying that he was projected top 5 before that game, I thought.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Oh, I saw there were some draft boards. I'd have to go back and look. Again, I get obsessed getting close to the NBA draft. It's just so much fun. We do an NBA draft show now, too.
And then another reason why I don't like Dosunmu, he was balls in the summer league where you should be balling out.
That's true. That is a very valid point. You did bring that up earlier on a different show. There's no doubt about it. You should be better than what he was. You can't ball out in the
summer league when you're playing against worse than G League competition. It doesn't help. I just don't think it translates well for the NBA. But he's been proving me wrong for the most part. But hey, I mean, I'm not going to be right. I'm going to be more wrong than I'm right. So it's just, I got to overtake that bias somehow. But the minutes are great with Dosunmu. That's tough to avoid. If there's no foul trouble, he should be able on his way to be pretty solid.
Shout out Alperen Şengün, Turkish legend of the Summer League in Vegas. Another thing you need to come to Vegas with me for. Dude, I've gone to Summer League almost every year.
I'm just saying he's a Turkish legend regardless. He was Turkish League MVP.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but Turkish legend, but then of the Summer League.
Yeah, he had a couple good games there. Yeah. More better game. He had 2 better games than Ayo Dosunmu did. Dosunmu did not have a single good Summer League game.
I don't think he did either. Again, I didn't go this year, but I go almost every year. It's almost like there was a pandemic or something earlier. Let's continue on. We go to Yahoo, our sponsor. DeJounte Murray, $50. Steph Curry, 42. Donovan Mitchell, 38. Looking a little bit further down the line, 32. De'Aaron Fox, that's fun. CJ McCollum, 31. A guy you and I both are pretty high on because the Pelicans, you basically add another high voltage guard, another dynamic guy on the other end, and it just makes it more fun. Toronto, not the best matchup in the entire world. Excuse me. Anthony Simons, $26, a little cheaper there. Our boy Ayo, $22. Probably not going to be playing him over there, but I got to bring him up because we need to start talking about them sooner rather than later. There are a lot of Brooklyn guys that are going to get a lot of attention. You have Cameron Thomas, who I'm assuming is going to have to be doing some ball handling to some extent, or it's Seth Curry playing some point here, unless they want to start Javon Carter and ruin all of our hopes and dreams. You've got just so many of these Brooklyn dudes that we need to have some give some attention here. Is Yahoo a place where you can roster them?
Yeah, you definitely could. Keep an eye with the starting lineup there. People might just assume like Seth Curry and Andre Drummond might be in the starting lineup. Nick Claxton's also off the injury remote. So that's a very fluid situation. So I'm just going to wait till we get that starting lineup. But I would expect Patty Mills. I would expect Seth Curry to fall in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Andre Drummond might get the start in this type of situation. It wouldn't shock me if they just go with Aldridge or Claxton. But that front court's up in the air. There's so many front court guys there. I hope this is the end of Daron Sharp. He played well in the limited minutes he got, but it wouldn't make sense to continue to play Daron Sharp when there's got healthy Aldridge, healthy Claxton, and a healthy Drummond. But just looking at the guards on your sponsor Yahoo, where you can play them in their Valentine's Day baller, you get a $31 CJ McCollum. Was pretty outstanding the other night. In the mid tier, you get we talked about DeSim, who's $22, same price as Barton. I have no issues playing either one of those guys. I think you can also consider a $20 Kobe White as a pivot. But there's some outstanding spend down options and guys who are $10. There's Kemba Walker. There's Luke Kennard if he goes. There's a $12 Quentin Grimes, a $10 Corey Kispert, a $12 Raul Neto. That's quite a bit of solid load price options. There's also a $10 Ben McLemore if you want to look for some minutes there. Another guy who's going to get some extra minutes and might get overlooked by the public. There's no Rodney Hood anymore. There's obviously Pat Connaughton and Dante DiVincenzo getting traded. Connaughton with a fractured finger. Grayson Allen might be asked to play 30-plus minutes consistently on every night. I mean, we'll see the insertions of guys like Wesley Matthews. Maybe they'll try to play Noro down at that wing position a little bit more. It could happen, but the buyout market is something where I think Milwaukee is going to explore this year again. But it's something that gets overlooked. Even if when a backup gets hurt, it could help a potential starter. I mean, I'm going to have to expect Grayson Allen and Wesley Matthews to split a lot of those minutes. I don't know how many minutes we can play to Lindell Wigginton, who's the other guy who's been getting minutes for.
Who? If I missed something?
Lindell Wigginton's been getting minutes.
I do this for a living, and I've never heard that name in my life.
Oh, I hope Tom Kennedy's not listening.
Sorry, Tom. You know what? I'll do this. Look fast. Yahoo. New Yahoo users. Get one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. All you do is deposit $10 or more. You played in any paid contest, and boom, you get every single thing we have behind the paywall. Now, NFL's over. I know we're all sad. Ryan and I are probably less so. But you know what? It's okay. We have MLB hopefully coming up here soon. But regardless, we have PGA, MMA, and this NBA that you know and love. Get all the projections, top fighters tool for MMA, top golfers tool for PGA. We have the boom bust tool for NBA. So many great tools, and you get access to everything just by trying out Yahoo's product. And as Ryan said earlier, some really amazing contests available for this Valentine's Day edition. We've got Valentine's Baller, $10K to first, $15. There's a Cupid shot, $1 with low management fees. We've got 12% management fee there. That's 5%, 4.5% lower than anything you're going to find on DraftKings and FanDuel tomorrow. No doubt about it. So if you're checking this out on Monday, if you're listening to us here for this Valentine's Day edition, I'm just letting you know that you need to be playing over here if you like making more money, because less rake equals more money going back into your pocket. Even if you don't win that day, it's going to hurt you a lot less having a poor day over on Yahoo than any of the other major sites because of that lower rake. So stop guessing, start winning. Join us here at Awesemo, but do it through this amazing Yahoo promotion for new users. Deposit $10, play in any paid contest, and voila, it's done. All right.
I don't know who Lindell Wigginton is.
I've never heard that name in my life.
And you say you claim to be an Iowa State fan.
I don't know who that is.
He played at Iowa State.
I don't even remember that name. I'm dead serious. Wigginton? Do you know how bad we were last year? Do you have any idea? I watched like 2 basketball games last year.
On to the next position we go.
I'm looking at him. Yeah, he played 18 minutes. Congratulations to him. Wigginton. I literally thought you were trolling me.
No, he's a legit NBA player.
I'm very happy for him. A legit NBA player. How many minutes has he played this entire season?
Enough to win people a showdown contest, I'm sure.
Oh, that's what it is, Ryan. I knew there was some reason that we were calling it out there. Did you just humble brag in the middle of this?
No, I didn't even play showdown that day, but I know people won with him.
That's incredible. People are sharp. I'm not one of them, apparently, even though all I do is sit on popcorn machine and look at rotations, but whatever. DeJounte, yeah, I've never heard of Wingington my entire life. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's sitting at the top end here, is probable for Monday. That's useful because at 12K, there's a lot of fantasy points in store against Portland here. Josh Hart, best of luck. Yusuf Nurkic, good luck guarding Giannis. Guys, DeMar DeRozan, 10-2 there. Pascal Siakam coming off of another just massive ceiling game. On the other side of that Denver game, him and Jokic were going back and forth, and 10-1 Pascal Siakam, he's just been very good this season. Got to go in that bucket of guys like DeJounte Murray and John Morant, who have all made a major step up. But Domantas Sabonis, he's going to be a guy to keep your eye on. Only 33 and 34 minutes, but he's sub 10K. Are you going to fire him up against Brooklyn and a lot of these unknowns, but knowing full well that that front court has nobody that should be able to guard him?
Yeah, Domantas Sabonis 2-0 with the Kings, and Tyrese Halliburton 0-2.
Oh my
with the
God,
Pacers. But
you're just trolling me today. This is I don't know. You had to come in.
I'm not trolling you. I know. I'm just spitting facts.
Oh my God.
But looking up top, there's Giannis at 12K in a Portland spot. He's questionable, but you get Giannis in a Portland spot, man, you can put up 40, 10-10 in a heartbeat. We saw that happen against the Lakers team, and Portland's easier matchup. It should be, but I think you get DeRozan taking on a former team in San Antonio, 10-2. The shot volume is going to be there. He's been outstanding this season. Man, I've been fading DeRozan a little bit, been under the field of late. I think I'll be a little under the field yet again. I think I'd rather take my chances on Randle and Sabonis over DeRozan. I like both of those guys' matchups, their upside, and I think Randle's been a bit more aggressive since the whole laptop smacking incident. It's been kind of he's kind of not turned things around.
Laptop smackgate.
In terms of I think just playing better basketball, and it's been helping out fantasy wise as well, even though they haven't been winning. But looking a little bit in the cheaper tier, Middleton's too expensive. Kuzma 8,600. Man, the shot volume is there, but it's expensive for Kuzma. He's gonna really have to. He's put up shown the triple double upside, and we gotta shy away just a tad bit. I think at 8,600. Josh Hart, Milwaukee spot. He's the lead dog there, kind of with him and Anthony Simons. 6,300, tough spot. I like it just because of the minutes he's going to play, the shot volume he's going to get. He's the same price as guys like Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's pretty good at 6,300 in a Washington spot as well. I think I prefer Grant to Hart. But in the next tier, guys, just spending down a little bit. Patty Mills has forward eligibility. We should consider him as a solid option now. Looking all the way down, I think Luke Kennard at 3,500. I know he's questionable, but if he were to play, we can go to him. Now, if he were to be out, Terrence Mann, popular play for some winners on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
I think Terrence Mann.
Who won on Saturday night?
Who won on Saturday night?
Oh, yeah, no, it was the brothers, and they had no, we're not going to go there. Continue on, Ryan. You know what I was getting at.
Oh, I mean, Chipotle Attic and Papa Gates.
They're pretty good.
They're arguably the two of the best players ever, and there will be very few people in their stratosphere. I think those two brothers get way too much hate than they deserve. They are very, very sharp players, and they have been for almost a decade now, and there's a reason why they win, because they're really damn good. And
they rostered a lot of Terrence Mann when nobody else did.
Yeah, it's probably because I didn't play.
Oh man, another humble brag there by Ryan here, because he definitely Saturday was your slate. I'm very sad that you weren't able.
Yeah,
to
I just had
everything that I know you would have done just from doing this show with you long enough, being friends with you long enough. There's no way you wouldn't have just been doing the back flop like that, like the big security guard in Breaking Bad on that pile of money, where he just goes back. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I definitely see, based on the notifications I saw on my phone, I was like, damn, there's multiple late swap options where people are just going to really drop the ball on this. And It burns. You only get so many chances throughout the year to nail late swap opportunities, like properly.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday seemed like a big miss.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Near 100% Reggie Jackson was great. You know what didn't go well? Near 100% Nicholas Batum. Continue on.
And I think of that, I didn't know he burned people if he was popular.
Just unbelievable. He was only like 7%, but he ended up starting, and you had a lot of those guys that were out. I thought there was a spot for him and Man, and I ended up on a lot more Batum than Man because of $3,400 Nicholas Batum. So I will say,
I had mentioned Man on the podcast last week. He is the backup point guard there.
Yes. Yeah. And Amir Coffey is not playing nearly the minutes
that
he once was, but he ended up closing.
He shouldn't be.
I'm just saying, Norman Powell out. I mean, we got to remember all of these moving pieces. I will say Reggie Jackson was just a god in that Dallas win. Almost put up 50 fantasy points. I don't think it can be stated enough how much I like him tomorrow at 6K on DK, but I will say, power forward, we're talking about forwards here. Marcus Morris Sr., 37 minutes. I mean, that is a ton more minutes than I would be expecting from him. I think this Kennard news matters a lot. Robert Covington is only playing like 10, 12 minutes here for this basketball team. He's really not doing a whole heck of a lot. Terrence Mann played 35. Nicholas Batum barely played. He only played 20 minutes. He was playing like complete garbage. But I will say, it seems like a hot hand approach. And if you can get the hot hands with the Clippers, there's going to be massive amounts of value tomorrow. I just don't know who they are.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton of amounts of value. And just wrapping up this forward spot, there's Marvin Bagley playing in his debut for Detroit. They traded for him. He should get minutes. He should be the potential. There's kind of a logjam there, but he's 3,300 in a Washington spot. There's Kelly Olynyk there. There's Isaiah Stewart. There's Jeremy Grant there. So the minutes are like not up for grabs, but if there's a game that Bagley gets 24 minutes in a Washington spot, the upside is definitely on the table.
It's almost like they didn't watch tape of him in Sacramento and said, you know what, we need an 8th power forward on our basketball
The Troy Weaver's system is just buying extremely low on lottery talent that hasn't worked out.
And then it doesn't work out in Detroit. Yeah. Let's head to FanDuel.
Hopefully it works out for Kate Cunningham as actual lottery talent.
Woof. Anthony Edwards looked fantastic again today. You know what? Maybe this LaMelo Ball thing isn't going to be a disaster after all. Minnesota passing up on him, but whatever. Giannis 11-4. We've got DeMar DeRozan 10-4 there. Pascal Siakam 10-3. Power forward only. That always makes him an intriguing play because he's always a little bit lower owned than you would expect him to be over on FanDuel with his kind of upside. 10-3 is a gigantic tag. Don't get me wrong. He won't be that popular at that number, but considering he's the only one of these major studs at the top end that has power forward only eligibility, he doesn't have the center to go with it. He always ends up lower than the other guys. So keep that in mind. Randall, 10K, Sabonis, 9,800. I think are just fine if you want to be going their direction there as well. Christian Wood there is at 8,200, but Kyle Kuzma, 7,700. We get a cheaper number than him over on DK, I believe. I mean, Kuzma is still a good play over there. Well, 8,600 is pretty expensive on DK, but 7,700 on FanDuel. I expect him to be popular, and yet I still expect to have quite a bit. Talk to me about forward on FanDuel.
Looking at the forward spot on FanDuel, I mean, spending it for Giannis makes so much sense. He's a little too cheap at 11-4, in my opinion. Now, the next tier, guys, man, FanDuel does not want to price up Jeremy Grant. He's 5,700. Kuzma, 7,700 in that same matchup, like quite a bit. We've touched on Wagner and Barton. Both have small forward eligibility. Now, the next tier, power forward guys that you can take your chances on. When Scotty Barnes getting those minutes, 6,400, he's going to have one of those must-have, like, in your lineup type of games. Now, Bobby Portis is 6,500. We haven't seen many upside games when all of these guys are back, but in a Portland spot, it can definitely pan out for you. Is this Giannis's first game since rolling his ankle against Phoenix? Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm more inclined. I think it's like a 60-40 position where he plays and he doesn't play, because he did end up coming back and playing. But with the All-Star break around, it wouldn't shock me if they give him a couple days and him to ball out in the All-Star
They said he didn't
game.
completely turn it, that he's probable going into tomorrow.
Oh, he's probable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
There was a report that came out on that.
Okay. So take back what I said, but just keep in mind he did roll an ankle the other day. But next, and I think those guys make a ton of sense. We touched on the Clipper situation, less appealing here, priced up a little bit more here. Tom Bryant, 4,900, played well again. Price is going up slowly but surely. OG Anunoby, 6,900. Nice price tag for him. When the minutes are there for those guys, you're going to have some interest, even if the ownership isn't indicating so. Sometimes those minutes just are too good to pass up on, even if they don't project as good value plays. You're just trying to strike that minutes upside. Now, other flyers in lower, cheaper flyers, guys like KCP, Otto Porter, Kelly Olynyk is 3,900. The minutes are all over the space over there. With Bagley being there, not so enticing, but it could work out. Isaiah Hartenstein is a flyer, 3,800 in a Golden State matchup. He doesn't need 24 minutes. He can get there in 18 to 20 minutes because he has the upside to put up 2 fantasy points per minute in like a super ceiling upside game. And at that price tag, you don't need all that much.
No, you really do not. Yeah, Bobby Portis 6,500. I mean, I don't know what Serge Ibaka is going to be doing once he joins this team and what those minutes are going to look like for some of these guys, but it's whatever. Nicholas Batum's 4,100. God help me. God help me if he plays well tomorrow. He was like the only thing that just prevented me from greatness. And not only prevented me, but he stopped me in a very meaningful way with his 2 fantasy points that he put up.
Wow. He had only
Saturday.
2?
He had 2. I had the nuts with a 2 from Nicholas Batum, therefore also known as not the nuts. Whatever. Just jam Washington value, play a lot of Reggie Jackson and Nicholas Batum, that guy. Let's go to forward here. Again, you would have loved that Saturday slate. I'm just going to keep reminding you about the one mistake you've ever made in DFS. We've got Giannis, $56.
I make more mistakes than like...
I'm being sarcastic. It's a little having fun, a little facetious there, but Giannis $56, DeMar DeRozan 45, Domantas Sabonis 40, Julius Randle 35. That is really cheap to be looking at for him there. $35 Julius Randle. Seems like Yahoo's a pretty good spot to go roster him here as we look down. Jeremy Grant, Sadiq Bey. I just don't want to be going their direction with all of these guys. You brought up Kelly Olynyk and Isaiah Stewart, and of course the newly acquired Marvin Bagley, but one guy that I've got highlighted for Yahoo specifically, Justice Winslow is $16. And I know you said Milwaukee, lovely matchup that they have on the one side here. But as I'm looking at power forward, he feels like the guy that I want to be rostering here. I mean, Pokashevsky's $13. We saw those minutes are going to be highly variant from time to time. I don't really think he's a for sure thing. And then Jonathan Kuminga, who did start, played very well against the Lakers. 30.8 fantasy points, did not close in that game. Thought that was pretty interesting that they stuck with Otto Porter. Probably the right decision. Ended up getting through with that one. But I really like Justice Winslow at $16 on Yahoo. Who sticks out to you, Ryan?
Yeah, look at the Yahoo guys. I mean, Giannis is super expensive here. I'd rather save $15, $20. It goes like Sabonis and Randle. DeRozan's expensive also, in my opinion. I know he's been balling, but I think the upside in saving to guys like Ingram and Kuzma, I'd rather target there just because Yahoo does such a great job with pricing. And you nailed it. I know Winslow's price tag is amazing. I think I can definitely be willing to get above the field on a guy like him, even in a tough spot against Milwaukee. No issues going to Justice Winslow. Spending down a little bit. I mean, there's no much reason to really spend down cheaper than Winslow. If you fall on a KCP, that's fine. I have no issues falling on a KCP. Forward kind of just sucks on Yahoo. They've done an excellent job with pricing. Keldon Johnson, $21 is okay. I just expect the minutes to be there. If there's no Norm Powell, Marcus Morris could have an upside game at $19. But honestly, that's really about it. Forward kind of just sucks on Yahoo.
Does. Don't mind that shout out. Let's go to center. Round this out. Again, we always seem to go a little bit later on these Sunday nights, Monday, if you will, podcast versions of the NBA Slate Starter. Give us a 5-star review. That goes a long way for us over on Spotify or Apple if you're listening to us there. And if you're watching on YouTube, you know what to do. Just smash that like button. We appreciate you guys so much hanging out with us, talking some NBA. Let's go to center. Nikola Jokic, 12-2 on DraftKings is really expensive here. So weird not to see Joel Embiid on the same slate. It's a 9-gamer without Joel Embiid and Jokic on the same slate. God, thank you, and the Saints be praised, or something like that. We've got Giannis 12K. You can play him power forward center. Same thing with Siakam. But Vooch, 9,800 against San Antonio. You talked about DeMar DeRozan. You've been a little bit under on him. One guy that I was way over on that slate that we had, I believe it was Saturday. It was literally yesterday as of Sunday recording this. Going up against OKC, that front court, he ended up going 31-15, put a 56. He was great. Obviously, MP was much greater, but Vooch, there's really nobody else playing minutes at the 5 for this basketball team. They have some Derek Jones Jr. that exists here again now, Troy Brown Jr., DeRozan in a small ball lineup against the Spurs, but I feel like Vooch is going to play as many minutes as he can handle here. How much do you like him on this kind of a slate, Ryan?
Yeah, he's going to play a ton of minutes. He's all right. I'd rather save $100 and go to Sabonis. But I think Vooch has been balling. There's enough value to spend up for guys like Jokic and Giannis, but the next tier of guys, it's going to be tough to shy away from. If we get Andre Drummond starting at 5,500,
smash. Best play of the slate if he's starting.
Yeah, I know it's center, and the opportunity cost is going to be him at 5,500 if he starts. If in capital letters with an asterisk on both sides of if, but just keep an eye on the situation, just because there's a log jam at center there. There's Aldridge's there. There's
good news too, Ryan. Good news. There's only one game that locks at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's Detroit and Washington. My guess is there isn't a ton of exposure that should be wrapped up into that game. Maybe Marvin Bagley, who's super cheap on DK.
No. I do think there'll be some popularity in that game.
Oh, there will be? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying Kuzma, you have like the mid-range guys. Is it kind of the same thing we've been facing with Washington the last however many slates?
I think so. As long as
they do look cheap again. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was looking at FanDuel as we were saying this.
So ownership's going to be tied up a decent amount there. So,
what I'm getting at is that the center position from Washington, other than Thomas Bryant, 4,500, Isaiah Stewart, 5,500. I think there's a lot of questions with Olynyk, with Bagley, with Jeremy Grant, with all the other bigs that they have there. Maybe not to go nuts there. You literally have one game locking, and then you have the rest of the slate. So you have 8 more games that start up there. So at least when that news comes out, if it's after lock, you're going to have plenty of time to adjust.
I agree. And I don't really have much to touch on center. I mean, it's Drummond and spending up. It can definitely be a 2-center slate if Drummond is going to be starting. So
what if Aldridge starts?
I'll have interest in Aldridge. I think
that's what I was going to get at.
There could be a potential situation where they share the court together. Could be potential.
Yeah. Aldridge played the 4 a lot in Portland, and he played the 4 in Portland and at times in San Antonio.
Aldridge can space the floor out enough where that's fine, but it hasn't happened much, right? I don't know if there's been any shared minutes with him and Blake Griffin this season. I'm trying to go this off my head. I know he has shared a few minutes with Claxton here and there, but so it wouldn't shock me if Aldridge shares the court with him. I mean, it wouldn't shock me, but unlikely is the situation presented. Yeah. But if Drummond starts, you got to have a significant amount of interest. Now, if he doesn't start, it is what it is.
He's 6K over on FanDuel, where we head to next. Nikola Jokic, 11-3. Yeah, I really like that. That's too cheap for him. Giannis and Jokic, just not priced up enough, especially on this kind of a slate where we should have quite a bit of value on a 9-gamer to be able to afford a lot of these guys. But you get in this mid-range. Jonas Valanciunas is now sub 7K. They are just laughing at us with that over on FanDuel. He's been a very, very popular play over there for quite a while. Now you're talking about territory where you just got to have a lot of interest there. Hassan Whiteside is 7,300 coming off of the 2 explosion games that we've had out of him coming off the bench. It's really tilting to, it might be tilting, but also if he's going to play 28 minutes regardless, I mean, 7,300 Hassan Whiteside is not really the time to start investing here if you haven't been. But looking at him more on 5,900 on DK, if he's not starting, don't write him off. Definitely been a tournament play, I know, for Adam Scher, our buddy here at Awesemo, quite a bit here. But I'm going to give a shout out on FanDuel to a guy that you might not be expecting, but I think he could continue to play big minutes, especially in this spot. Ivica Zubac. You've got Kevon Looney, who should be out on the floor there quite a bit. Maybe they try to go small, get him off the floor, but my God, Zubac played the best game I've seen him play in a long time against Dallas the other night. He guarded Luka Doncic quite a bit. That was something that he was getting called to do. Now, if they get in a pick and roll situation where he can't cover on Steph or Clay, obviously in the corner, you're in a lot of trouble there. But when you're starting to talk about these cheap guys, you got to find some value or find some kind of a narrative. I might be okay rostering some Zubats. How about you?
Yeah, I have no problems falling on a guy like Zubac. I know he's expensive, but like I said, the opportunity cost might be Drummond if he starts. And especially on FanDuel, when you have to lock it up with one guy, it might be a little tough to get there. I have no issues if you go to Zubac and there's no Drummond starting, but I think Drummond would be a priority. Now, Valanciunas is 6,800. That's cheap. In a Toronto spot where bigs are doing pretty well against Toronto, just because Toronto's not opting for the size, they're like, mine will let you eat interior wise. But Valanciunas is 6,800. I have no issues if you fall on a guy like him. Jokic is cheap at 11.3. Now, that's really about it. Center is outside of those guys. It's tough to have much interest without the Brooklyn News situation.
All right, let's head over to Yahoo, our sponsor, and round this out. Jokic, 56. Big drop to Pascal Siakam, 43 there. Vooch, 42. Then you're looking at this mid-range. Andre Drummond all the way up to $30. That is the one site I do not want to be firing him up in spades, given might still be playable there. $26, Hassan Whiteside. I think that'll be fascinating here. Again, Gobert. I got to be thinking he's close to returning. I thought he was close to returning. He got upgraded from that calf injury to questionable for Saturday's game. Didn't give it a go, and now he's questionable for this one. He's going to play one of these days, but otherwise, Hassan Whiteside, $26. Might be my tournament play I'm looking at there. Aldridge is there at $17. If he gets the start, or Claxton, $19 against Sacramento, both of them should be able to be effective against a guy like Sabonis. But round this out, who are your favorite center plays? Ooh, Thomas Bryant's $12 on Yahoo still.
Yeah, you nailed it there. $12 Tom Bryant. No issues if you fall on a guy like him. Spending up a little bit more. It's tough to go to Drummond here at $30. Just because he's a little too expensive. The Jakob Poeltl's cheaper than him at 28. Spending up for Rudy Gobert if he goes against Houston. Calf strain, lower body injury. Keep an eye on that situation. If he plays, I think it's worth taking some chances on a guy like him. There's enough value to go to Jokic. The upside's definitely there in an Orlando spot, but I think I would rather save and go to Vooch at 42. Vooch definitely sticks out the most here. Christian Wood, $31. There's no Rudy Gobert. Things are going to look pretty nice for him, interior-wise, for him to do well. And then his teammate, Alfred Şengün, is $11. If Şengün somehow plays 30 minutes, which can happen in certain ways of the game script, I think $11 Şengün seems pretty appealing to me.
Yeah, he got demoted back to the bench against Toronto, played like garbage there. But if he starts, that's kind of a guy that you always want to be getting to. Probably where you're rostering. I mean, you can roster two of them and take a shot on a cheap guy. I might actually, and this is just weird to say, I might, in the event that he doesn't start there, prefer Azubuike or Blake Griffin, which is just disturbing to say out loud and actually mean that. But, or wait, there's no way Blake Griffin's center on on Yahoo. Azubuike, yeah, it's $11 for Azubuike.
Blake Griffin is center, right?
Is he on? Yeah, he is $11. I had it right. Okay, never mind. It was right on my sheet. Cool. Congratulations to me for doing one thing right. Ryan, we're done with the first NBA Slate Starter of the week. It's going to be a short week because obviously, it's actually a full work week for us. We've got the NBA All-Star podcast. We'll be firing that up Thursday night for your guys' enjoyment for the Sunday game. Talk some strategy, talk some other things. But Ryan, any final words for the people?
Yeah, if we can get 10 more reviews on the Apple Podcast feed, that'd be great. I think we're at 40 reviews. You can leave us 5-star. If you can give us 10 reviews before the All-Star break, that'd be fantastic. It greatly appreciate it. Really appreciate your guys' support. If you guys listen on Spotify, 5 stars there as well. These are the dog days of the NBA season, the dog days of NBA DFS. We'll get through this hunch. The All-Star break is almost right here. But till then, till tomorrow, good luck, everyone.
He's Ryan. He picked the Rams to win. I'm Eric. I picked the Rams to win, but I did it cowardly and didn't bet it. We'll see you guys later.